What is good, cluttered people, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Bobbalam, dropping the Insiders collab tape with Juice WRLD because it's quarantine and we're pretty much stuck inside all day every day, so it really wouldn't make sense to drop an Outsiders album, but maybe that's why it's gonna be so fire when Juice WRLD and his label drop the next album, which I believe will be Outsiders, almost confirmed and inevitably, but I guess it's really up to them. So without further ado, is Juice WRLD's next album gonna be called Outsiders? Let's talk about it. Okay, so this is just going to be a little quick update on the whole Juice WRLD next album situation because Lil Bibby last week or so confirmed on the Hollywood Fix, which is like a TikTok channel, but I guess they got the Bibby interview somehow, and he claimed that they're already working on the next album, which I believe will be Outsiders, as I mentioned in the intro. And now one of the reasons I believe it will be Outsiders is because that was the title and concept that Juice WRLD originally wanted before he passed away, because Outsiders was the album that he was dropping in December of 2019, or at least allegedly, but then he unfortunately passed away in early December at the Chicago airport. And I think that the label is finally going to bring this idea back into fruition, considering Legends Never Die was like an ode to his life and his legendary status, and it was very fitting towards the situation, kind of like a respectful funeral for Juice WRLD and his fans, if you ask me at least. But anyway, to get into the story, essentially the main reason I think it's going to be Outsiders, other than the fact that it is the only title and concept for an album that Juice WRLD already had conceptualized before he passed away, is WRLD has actually spoken about it very recently on Twitter about last week. Now, I was going to make a video back then, but then some other things popped up like Uzi, Cardi, and you know I got to give them my priority because they're my two GOAT lovers. Pause. But yeah, without further ado, let's actually get into the nitty-gritty Twitter thread of WRLD's responses to fans, in which she originally was talking about an X collab because that was the talk of the town after DJ Scheme posted Bad Vibes 999 on his Twitter, and we're not going to get too much into that until the very end because WRLD was claiming that it wasn't actually going to happen, and then X's mom Cleo says it's going to happen, so that really kind of speaks on Allie's credibility and how much she really knows about Juice WRLD's posthumous releases. She even says it herself that, you know, she's not the label and the label doesn't tell her much info anyway, so kind of makes us not trust her completely, not in a bad way, but just like she doesn't have that much info. But anyway, as I was saying, a fan in her Twitter thread asked, is the Outsiders scrapped, referring to the Outsiders album that reportedly completely leaked in December of 2019, and she answers, I'd hope not. That one, it's an album. I know by heart what songs he won on them and what cover, and everything we say in the bathroom while he was pooping one day, he'd make me sit and talk with him, and we went over it all, but that in my opinion now should be an album for later. First of all, Jesus Christ, that was hard to read considering there were a lot of grammatical mistakes, god damn. But aside from that, what she really just answered with was she hopes the album's not completely scrapped and that it should be an album for later, so not too much information given just yet. But then the next part of the Twitter thread, a fan says, okay, but why would they release Legends Never Die instead of Outsiders? Makes no sense, seems like a money grab to me. And she replies, no, it's more along the lines of Jay wanted it to be a story and the story has parts and the parts end up with the Outsiders. If he was here, he'd be able to give you the Outsiders and you'd understand what he was saying, where now he's gone, it needed to be in a way you'd understand without him here. Again, this is hard to read and like comprehend, but what I just took from this was that the Outsiders album was completely conceptualized by Juice WRLD or very close to finished, but then he passed away and the narrative completely changes on what should be presented of Juice WRLD's life and discography, and so they chose Legends Never Die to give him that funeral and blessing in the afterlife and to respect his status as a legend. And I think Legends Never Die was a pretty good ode to what he has accomplished, especially with only being in the rap game for like 2 years. But also what I believe she's saying is that Outsiders, since it wasn't completely finished by Juice WRLD, is that it had to be planned out more, and so since Juice WRLD is not here, it couldn't have been finished in the time frame that Legends Never Die was released in mid 2020, so they're giving it an extra year or two, wherein Outsiders, I believe, will be released next year or the year after that. Probably next year, to be honest though, because at this point in time it really isn't hard to drop albums as a rap artist. I mean, mean, especially with how much music Juice WRLD had unreleased in the vault. It's not like they have to do what X's label is doing, wherein they have to take a ton of unfinished songs and put different verses from different beats and like match up all the vocals. Juice WRLD literally freestyled like 3 times on each beat, so they have so much to choose from. But to continue, another fan was asking about if they put any songs on Legends Never Die from Outsiders, because a lot of fans believe that since a lot of the songs on Legends Never Die actually leaked prior to its release. And then he said, but didn't they take a bunch of songs that he wanted on Outsiders and put them on Legends Never Die, meaning they can't put out Outsiders like he wanted? And that's a pretty good question, because if they already put the songs from Outsiders on Legends Never Die, how are they gonna create and release the Outsiders album that Juice WRLD really wanted while he was alive? Because again, we can't really get his opinion on the matter right now if they already dropped the songs. And so why drop an album if it isn't exactly how Juice WRLD wanted it? But then Ali fortunately gives us more info, saying no songs from what Jay wanted on Outsiders was on Legends Never Die. Maybe one. I haven't listened to it yet, and y'all be naming songs different than what Jay and I called them, so it messes me up all ha 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 ha. And then Daddy AirPod from the Bob Gang comes in high, saying apparently most of Outsiders was leaked. Is this true, or did it consist of mostly unheards? And that is exactly referring to what we spoke on a little bit before, in that apparently the whole Outsiders album leaked completely in late 2019, and so that's why the other fan in the previous question in Ali Lottie's Twitter thread asked if it was completely scrapped, because why would the album be scrapped if no songs leaked? But if all the songs did leak, it somewhat forces the label to even question if they should release the album, since all the songs were already out, and the hype would be completely lost, considering even fans with the Legends Never Die album release were hating on Bibby and the label because a lot of the songs were already heard from the leak community in the Juice Hub. But then Ali Lottie confirms yet again no songs from what Jay wanted on the Outsiders was ever leaked, which is good news in my opinion, because that means we may be still getting that very same Outsiders album that Juice WRLD originally intended for us in late 2019. Great news, people, great news. And then shortly after, another fan asked, so was Outsiders fully done? And then Ali Lottie cryptically says, never started but complete. Now I don't know what that means. I mean, it looks like she's speaking some Yu-Gi-Oh hieroglyphics or some shit. We need to pull out a Blue Eyes White Dragon so we can actually read that, but I believe what Ali means is that Juice WRLD recorded all of the songs for Outsiders, but he didn't necessarily put together the track list, so all the songs are complete. Like, Juice WRLD's label has everything that they need to use possible to create the album, but technically speaking, in Juice WRLD's lifespan, he never got the artist to make the cover. He never picked which songs he wanted to be on it. He just has like 300 songs that could be used for the album, if that makes any sense. And that's it for all the Outsiders information we have. And what I wanted to bring up lastly was that Ali Lottie, and I'm not calling her a capper, but she was kind of cap in the sense of the actual definition of the word, in that she said that the XXXTentacion Juice WRLD collab she doubt was ever going to happen. But then we found out in the Q&A on Discord with X's mom Cleo that she actually is working on this Juice WRLD collab, and DJ Scheme said that it was coming too. So I'm not going to say Ali Lottie is a liar per se, but she just may not know that much information, given that she's not communicating with the label on a daily basis like maybe Scheme or X's mom. And so I say all this to say, you know, take all this information with a grain of salt. I still do, whether Ali Lottie's words are believable or credible in this Twitter thread, that Outsiders still could be on the way, but that whatever Ali says is not completely set in stone. But shout out Ali for all the info. This is no shade at her whatsoever. But no matter what, looking forward to Outsiders or whatever album they actually come up with. Maybe Juice WRLD had something else in the works, like Lost in the Abyss. I know a lot of fans are commenting that on my previous videos. That would be cool too, but I believe that Lost in the Abyss was a concept Juice WRLD used in a lot of the old leak songs, but then he ended up giving the song Abyss to Travis Scott for his song on Astroworld's called No Bystanders. If you know, you know. But whatever it's called, you know it's gonna be flames, because it's Juice WRLD. So with that, it's your boy Bobbalam signing off, listening to Outsiders without going outside, because it's getting cold up in this bitch. I need to go back to Miami very soon. Let me know in the comments what you think the next album is gonna be. Is it gonna be Abyss? Is it gonna be Outsiders? Is it gonna be completely different, something that the label creates, maybe another Legends Never Die 2 or something like that? Make sure to like and subscribe while you're at it for the latest hip-hop news, drama, and analysis videos, as well as follow me on all my social socials in the description to join the Bob Gang if you with it. Also, go check out my stream clips that I just posted on the second channel if you haven't already. I swear that channel is going to take over this one eventually because streaming is so much easier for me than to make these videos every single day because shit gets exhausting, I swear to God. But I will never abandon this, so don't worry. But peace out, cloud people. Know what I'm saying?